What's up, everybody? Chris closes your deal here, and I am back for this afternoon of seller calls. And I am actually about to jump on. I got a referral from a buddy of mine who's an agent here in San Diego, and having trouble with this deal. And so we're gonna see if we can come in with a creative option to solve her problem. It's been listed for going on 60 days. Let's see, it is a single family. I think it's a single family. Yeah, single. Okay. So what we're gonna try to do on this is so the situation is as follows. So she has had her property on the market for it looks like 53 days. She's got a 2.625% interest rate. Solar on power purchase agreement. Okay, so it's a solar lease. Not really that big of a deal. Um, so it is 2.625. She has a mortgage balance of $575,000. And so she's looking to pocket about 200K when it's all said and done. So 575 balance 2.75, 2.625, 625% interest rate. And not sure what her payments are. It's probably somewhere around 2,000, 2,500 bucks. This is perfect. Man. Yeah, it's nicely remodeled. Man, I wish this one was the interest rate that my house is, and mine was this interest rate because that would be a better deal for me. But overall, it's not a bad property. Looks like it's gonna need carpet in pretty much everywhere. I would just do maybe LVP throughout if it's gonna be a rental. So here's what we're gonna do. So the sold price doesn't look bad. Let's look at the active listings on the market, and let's go any, and then let's go accepting backups and pendings. So this is hers. Okay, so everything around it has price cuts. Okay, so she's a little on the high side. Not a terrible deal. Ooh, this one's definitely on the high side over here. 85. No HOA. Okay. And it's pretty much remodeled. So we're basically looking at how can we structure a deal. Now, here's the thing. She is going to, from the information that I have, and you know, I have a little, fortunately, this agent is a good friend of mine. And so I have more information than I should have. And so, but I'm still going to go through the discovery call with her once I get her on the phone. And I'm just kind of buying myself some time right now because I actually have a scheduled call coming up with another seller here at 2:30. So I only have 18 minutes. There's no point in getting on a whole nother call. So I'll just kind of recap where I'm at. Basically, she's got a $575,000 balance, 2.625% interest rate. She's going to be in Japan for the next couple years deployed, and she wants to be able to use her entitlement, which is fine. We just have to gather more intel as to when, right? So a deal like this, what I would want to do is I would want to structure this. Her thing is she wants 200K, but it doesn't sound like she needs the 200K. That 200K is going to go sit in a bank account somewhere and collect dust, right? So what we can do is we can structure this as a deal where we rent it out, and we're going to go conservative. We're going to say 39.50 for rent times 0.75 minus, so that's 29.62. So we need to be able to clear some cash monthly, and that is going to come down to what is the mortgage payment And then what's the equity? And so what I'd like to do, ideally, because if her mortgage payment is $2,000, that leaves $962 of net cash flow after taking into account vacancy maintenance, repairs, and property management. So what I'd like to do is if I can get a silent second on this, which for those of you who don't know, a silent second is where you have a second position seller finance note on the property and you have no payments and then you just balloon out at whatever the balloon date is. I know she's going to want a balloon because she's going to want her entitlement. She's going to need the cash in a couple of years when she comes back to the States and she's ready to buy. So we'll have this conversation with her. We'll gather all this intel and it'll tell us exactly what direction we need to go. So again, hopefully you guys are going to get value out of this. And we'll see. I just texted her from my cell phone. So we'll see if she gets back to me. Again, she's in Japan, so I don't know what time it is in Japan, but it's not right now time. It's probably might be like 2 in the morning. Let's see. Japan time. Oh, it's 7:14 a.m. So she might not even be awake yet. Although she's in the military, so she's probably just about awake. Um, okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll just table this a little bit, and then I am going to reach out to my scheduled call just a little bit early.
Hello,
Hey, Bill, this is Chris. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was calling you about your property over on Tufton Drive. It looks like it was referred to us by our referral company, and they had paired your property with us because they thought we'd be a good fit to work together. Did I catch you at a bad time?
No, but I'm not interested in selling.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, they had mentioned that you were like possibly downsizing.
Oh, I totally got that this morning. I thought about it because my other half just had 3 brain surgeries and all the bedrooms are upstairs. And I was thinking about looking for something on just a single level.
Got it. Okay. All right. Um, I'm sorry, did you say somebody had brain surgery?
Yeah, my husband did.
Oh, gotcha. Man, sorry to hear that. That's tough.
3 since February.
Since February. Okay.
Yeah, and the one that he had Wednesday required 86 stitches.
Oh, wow.
And the
Man.
other 2 were like 58 staples.
Whew, that's wild.
So hopefully no more.
Yeah. What was it? Was it like cancer or something, or what was the
No, he had blood on his brain, and they didn't know what had caused it.
a blood
And
clot?
then no, just blood on his brain
Oh, got it, got
because
it.
he hasn't fallen or anything.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Man,
then the second time they went in, it was so badly infected they had to throw away the entire part of the skull. So he's been since Easter Sunday with only half of a skull.
oh,
And they just put that in Wednesday. Finally, he has a full head again.
wow. That's man, that's wild.
And
It's
it's been a lot to deal with.
yeah, it sounds like you guys have been going through a lot. I mean, it's thank God we have the technology to where you could literally stay alive without your skull.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like it's just
They
crazy.
had to
Like
wear a helmet for several months.
yeah, yeah, I could imagine. All right. So okay. So seems like nothing's really like set in stone about selling this house, but it could possibly be a good scenario for you to sell just because this one is a two-story home. Is that what I'm saying? What I'm
Yes,
hearing? Okay.
yes.
Got it. Got it. All right. Um, okay. I mean, if you guys were gonna sell, I mean, like when do you think that might actually happen? What kind of time
I'm
frame
not
you looking
sure.
at?
I'd have to talk to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, he just came home from the hospital Saturday afternoon in time to watch the IU ball game.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. Um, okay. I mean, is this something you guys have talked about much, or you just kind of, is it kind of like a,
Not a whole lot. Our last project was just remodeling a lot of stuff. We put a walk-in shower and a master bath and all new um, vanities and sinks and mirrors and new carpet in all the rooms and new hardwood floors and new paint and new roof and inside outside. We've done quite a bit,
got it. Okay. All
all
right.
within the last year.
Wow. Okay. Got it. So it sounds like prior to the brain surgeries, selling was
Right. We
probably
were
not even really
we
on
were
the.
upgrading it to sell it and get the biggest money we could out of it. We were going to be to Florida, but we changed our minds.
Oh, got it. Okay. So you guys had been, regardless of the brain situation, you guys have been kind of gearing up to sell, but just in a different way and just get it fully
Right.
renovated and then list it. Okay. Got it. All right. Um, okay. Is there anything, because it sounds like you guys have done a lot. Is there anything that you guys just hadn't gotten around to that was on the list of things to do?
No, I believe we pretty much covered it.
Okay. All right. Nothing else that you guys had, kind of your eyes on, we should really, upgrade.
And we still want to do some stuff to the kitchen, like put new countertops in, new sink, switch
Got
it
it.
around a little bit. That's the only
Okay.
thing we did not do was the kitchen. It's got
Got
all
it.
new appliances and everything.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. And then I guess sounds like you guys would be staying in the Indianapolis area once you sell at this point, or
Yeah, probably.
okay.
But that's not set in stone either because he's retired and I'm getting ready to retire in May.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Well, I'm sure, finding a place where you're gonna have, where he's gonna have good post-operative care is probably
Right.
super important.
And
So
something that's just one level.
yeah, that makes sense. Like a ranch style house or something.
Right.
Okay. All right. I mean, I know you guys got a lot going on. Have you guys even started looking at anything else out there or?
No, not yet. We've been dealing with this since the 22nd of February, and that's pretty much all we've been doing.
Yeah, it's kind of dominated your time. That makes sense. Okay. Well, my goal is just to, operate, with the same cadence and urgency that you guys have. You know, we're not looking to rush anybody into anything, but generally speaking, we typically end up working with a lot of sellers who are thinking about 6 months out.
Right.
And so we can, work with people. I mean, we've done transactions where it was, 9 to 12 months out before the seller was actually planning to move and that type of stuff. And then we work with a lot of sellers that are in, high urgency situations. Like we've worked with sellers that, we had one seller who had an auction scheduled for her home the day after we were on the phone with her, and we were able to stop that auction and help her out. So all that to say is we can work with anybody's timeline. Um, I guess um, I mean, with him getting back, Saturday, um, how far out do you think you're just like really going to be putting more thought into if selling is even, at this
It,
point?
it, it's going to be a couple months at least for
Yeah.
him to go through his recovery.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. All right. Do you got a pen and a piece of paper? I'm going to just give you some contact info and then,
Yeah.
we can stay in touch and, if there's
I'm
anything that we
actually at
can
my
do to,
desk working right now.
oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Um, all right. So my name is Chris Deal. Like, let's make a deal.
Okay.
And the name of our company is Lazarus Property Group, like Lazarus from the Bible.
Lazarus Property Group.
Yep. And our office line here is 619 525 7132.
Okay.
And then if you ever want to check us out on the web, it's just www.lazprop.com. LAZPROP.com.
All right. Got all that wrote down.
Awesome. And yeah, happy to help any way we can. So totally understand. And, we typically buy homes cash. We can do a lot of different things. So just depends on the situation, circumstances, and, what makes the most sense for sellers. We have a lot of different options for how we can help you out. So, yeah, I mean, we can just stay in touch. And then, as you guys kind of get closer to, feeling like it's time to start moving the needle in that direction, we can do what we got to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Awesome. It's a pleasure chatting with you. And yeah, let me know if you need anything else.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
All right.
Hello?
Hi, Janelle. This is Chris.
Hello?
Hi, Janelle.
Yes,
Hey, this is Chris. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good, good. Yeah, I was calling you about your property over on Chadworth Way. It was referred to me by one of our referral companies. It looks like they had paired your
Okay.
property with us because they thought we'd be a good fit for you. Did I catch you at a bad time?
I mean, I just got home with my two toddlers, so it's noisy in the background, but there's not really a good time
Yeah.
between work and this. So,
I gotcha. I gotcha. All right. Yeah, and if they're anything like my little toddler, it's like that when anytime you're talking, they're like so,
exactly.
yeah, so I get it. Okay. Well, yeah, they had mentioned here in the notes that I guess you guys were looking to relocate.
I'm so I said I would consider it depending on the number they gave me, and then they wouldn't give me a number. So we're not really like in a hurry to get anywhere, and honestly, we love our school pre-K situation right now, and it would take some convincing for me to be ready to leave like immediately. My husband, on the other hand, could be convinced very quickly. So I said I would listen to a number, but I by no means am saying I'm ready to leave tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, and by the way, I do have to let you know all calls are monitored and recorded for quality and training purposes. Really, the point of this call is just to see if the property even qualifies for getting an offer as is. We're generally looking for properties for one of two reasons. Either we're going to fix it and flip it and, bring it up to 2024 standards, or we're going to keep it and hold it as some sort of a rental property. So by the end of this call, I can either, get an approval from the underwriters with an offer, or they'll flat out deny it and they'll tell us exactly why.
Okay.
I guess you mentioned that, you're not necessarily like in a hurry, but like your husband, you feel like maybe your husband might be convinced pretty quick. Is there, something in particular that has him kind of, maybe more itching to make a move or
We hate our HOA.
doesn't
Absolutely
everybody?
despise the HOA. So that's really what it comes down to. They raised rates $200 for next year, and our pool was closed a substantial amount of time last year. So I'm not quite sure what we're paying for.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And did they raise it 200 for the year or 200 a month?
For the year.
Okay, got it, got it. And so what's the current monthly fee?
So they don't collect it monthly. I'm sure I can't math
Oh,
right now.
got it.
It's $770 for the year, but it's due in 2 installments.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. Okay. All right. That makes sense. And okay, so I mean, if you guys were gonna sell, would you stay in the general area or would you guys be relocating further away or?
I mean, I'm not leaving my job, so
Hmm,
it would have to be within, the not far from the city.
okay. Okay, got it. Nice. What do you do for work?
I'm an attorney.
Oh, okay. Nice. What kind of law do you practice?
I work for the state. I do child welfare law.
Oh, okay. All right. That's man, that's got to be rewarding and but also pretty sad a lot of times.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the pretty accurate description. Yes.
Yeah, that's our daughter is adopted. We adopted her when she was born and, because of parents doing drugs and all that stuff. And so, yeah, we kind of
Yep.
dealt with, some of that stuff.
Very familiar with all of that.
Yeah, it's we're in San Diego, but that is I'm sure the adoption cost out there for private adoption is way less expensive. It was crazy. We spent about $85,000 for that adoption.
Oh my God.
It was crippling. Yeah, it was really,
Yeah.
really, and yeah, and you like, it makes you really think like, why can we not make this more affordable? There's plenty of families out here that want to, you know, take care of these kids.
I ask that question all the time.
So, man. All right. Well, if we do get, an offer approved for this and, we work together, some of the benefits of working with us is that we would buy the home as is. So you don't even have to sweep up after yourselves. We cover all the closing costs. There's no realtor commissions involved or anything like that. So it's pretty straightforward. Do you mind grabbing a pen and a piece of paper real quick? I'm going to have you jot down just a couple pieces of info. And if we get this approved, there'll be some other notes you'll want to take down as well.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So my name is Chris Deal, like let's make a deal.
Okay.
And the name of our company is Lazarus Property Group, like Lazarus from the Bible.
Okay.
And my telephone number here, the office line is 619-525-7132.
Okay.
And if you ever want to check us out on the web, it's www.lazprop.com.
Okay.
All right. So I guess aside from the HOA, what else has really got you guys, kind of thinking about vacating and moving on?
I mean, to be honest, both of us grew up kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so, while Indianapolis is not necessarily a huge city, it feels huge to us. My husband really doesn't want neighbors at all. So it's more of like we'd like to be able to have a substantial garden and a small orchard and maybe some like a chicken coop and that kind of thing. So
Got it. Okay. All right. That sounds pretty cool. I have some friends, actually surprisingly, I have a bunch of friends that have done stuff similar to that. Everybody moved out of California, went to like Idaho, or somebody went really east California and has like a big, doing like a lot of homesteading type of stuff. So seems really cool. But all right, awesome. And I guess how long have you guys owned this property?
oh, we moved in March of 2020, maybe April of 2020. We were here a month before my daughter was born, so April of 2020.
Got it. Okay. All right, April of 2020. All right, perfect. And is it just you and your husband that owns the property, or is there anybody else that would be involved?
Nope, just us.
Okay, got it. All right. When's the last time you guys have really talked about selling?
We looked into it seriously probably about a year ago. We reached out to the realtor we used to sell our last home and buy this one, and we kind of started looking fairly in earnest, but then the market wasn't great and no one would take a contingent offer because you have to sell this one before we could get a loan for the next one. And so then we just kind of gave up.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. But if somebody was willing to take a contingent offer, you think you guys were like close enough where you would have pulled that trigger and made the move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And I guess in an ideal world, like what are you guys hoping to get for the property?
I mean, in order to get me to move, I want to see at least $400,000. I don't know if that's where we're at, but that would be my minimum before I'd even consider it.
Got it. Okay. And how did you get to that number?
I mean, when we started looking and we kind of did all of the steps a year ago, we were, I don't know, not far from that number, based on what our realtor was telling us and all of that. I mean, he didn't think we could get 4, but he was not far off. It was more of like a 375-ish. But like to convince me to pack up and move and go through the process of moving with 2 toddlers and potentially having a much higher interest rate, like it's going to have to be at least $400,000 to get me interested.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. If you can't get that, you guys just gonna hold tight?
Yeah. Ideally, for me, it makes sense to move when our youngest is entering kindergarten because then we won't have to worry about the daycare situation. They'll be in school.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple years before I'm ready to say, let's do this now.
Got it.
Unless there's something.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So nothing really pressing, if it really sounds like if you can get a make me move offer, you would take it and go. But outside of that, you guys would just sit where you're at. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Got it. All right. And I see the property, it looks like the property was built in 96. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 96 or 97.
Okay. All right. Got it. And you guys moved in 2020. Okay. All right. Perfect. I guess what kind of price point homes were you guys looking at when you started looking before?
I mean, actually, we were looking at less. So because we want to get out of the city, that already cuts prices down.
Yeah.
But kind of up to 375, 4-ish.
Okay.
Because
Got
you
it.
can get more for your money as soon as you get into a different county.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's wild how, going over little imaginary line all of a sudden changes things dramatically.
Yes.
So, okay. All right. And as far as the condition, I mean, yeah, it was only built in 96, so it's not terribly old. I mean, we're talking what, 28 years old? So are there things that you guys just haven't gotten around to doing that's kind of still on the list of improvements that you would want to make to the place?
Flooring upstairs. We haven't replaced the carpet upstairs. That should be done fairly quickly. I mean, we've painted everything in the house, but I'm sure that could use a touch up. And we have murals in the kids' rooms, which I know is not something that absolutely everyone would love. But it would break my heart to paint over those.
Yeah.
We put a new roof on it a couple years ago. We put a new furnace in. We just fixed the sewer line. We put new flooring downstairs. We replaced half the windows in the house, so I guess replacing the other half of the windows. Although that's not like a must do, but would probably make sense to do. We just couldn't swing all of them at once.
Yeah. You mentioned the sewer line. What was the issue with the sewer line?
Roots grew into the line. We just did that last week.
Last week.
So, yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you
Wasn't,
dug up everything
a fun
from that.
purchase or
Yeah. Well, what did that run you?
about just shy of $8,000.
Oof. Yeah, you guys got lucky. I've seen some of those cost 20 plus. So
Yes, we did get lucky.
Man. All right. Is there anything wrong with the structure of the home?
No, we actually had that inspected before we moved in because there's some cracking in the driveway, and so and then like the front steps. That's the other thing. The front steps should probably be raised a bit. But before we bought the home, I had an inspector come out to make sure it wasn't a foundational issue. We are on a full basement, so they told us that was not an issue. It was just regular settling. So.
Got it. Okay. All right. And you mentioned the front steps should be raised a bit. Are those front steps, are they concrete? Are they
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And did they settle, or they were just always a little shorter than they should be?
My guess.
Oh, you there? Oh no.
Hello?
Hey, sorry about that. I've been having this weird issue this last week where the moment a call gets to like 15 minutes, it like cuts out for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, super weird. So you were saying you guess, and then that's where I lost you.
My assumption is that it's from settling. Like it looks like they have settled, from what I can see in the concrete work.
Got it. Okay. All right. And okay, what about the kitchen? Is the kitchen original to the build?
I believe so.
And what about the bathrooms? Are those original as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And is there any moisture that you're aware of in the basement?
No, I mean we just had all of the plumbing checked when they did that fix last week. So.
Got it. Okay. Okay, perfect. And all right. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you might need help with?
The only other thing I might like is that if we could do, I'd redo the back porch, like the decking.
Hmm.
I The steps really aren't safe. I think they were installed poorly when they were put on, but that's all wood. And then the railing probably is starting to rot. So that would be the only other thing I would.
Got it. Okay. So the steps and the railing. What about like the main decking?
I don't see any problems with it, but like if I had the money to redo the other two, I'd probably just do it all. So
Got it. Okay. And do you think like is it the like the framing? Because you mentioned
I think the framing's fine. I think it's just
okay,
like I would redo the
just the deck
decking
boards.
itself.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, everything that you've been giving me, I've been putting straight into the system. That goes back to our underwriters where they run a report on the property. It'll tell them pretty much everything that they need to know about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on a brief hold real quick. I'm going to run back to them, just check in on them, see kind of where they're at this point, and I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. Unfortunately, there's no like fancy hold music, so it'll just be silent. But yeah, I'll just
That's
call
okay.
for you when I get back. And if you
Okay.
got to do something else, sounds like you're cooking. So if you got to be doing something else, no worries. I'll just shout for you and wait till you get back.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and then there's a 3,500 square feet that has been on market for 18 days, and that is listed for 339. Not really updated. Oh, look at that. Green and pink walls. Full basement. Back deck covered in leaves. All right, so those are actives. Let's look at solds. Okay, so there's a sold in the neighborhood from October 4th. Sold just over 410. Let's see how long this was listed. So this was listed 8/17, went pending. 2 weeks later, sold $3,000 under ask. Okay, so this one actually is decent. Let's see. Let's go back 6 months. Okay, here's a 4.25. Totally updated. Listed May 31st, went pending on 6/3 and closed 6/28. Wow, it's a 30-day, barely a 29, 30-day close. Wow, okay, so when was this one built? This was built 95, so same year, just about. Um, has new decking. Sold for 4.25. Let's look at Hey, Janelle, you there? Hello, Janelle. Janelle, you there? Hey, all
Yes, I'm
right.
here.
So I actually don't have good or bad news for you. They had a couple other questions because I guess the neighborhood.
Okay.
Um, the so does your HOA, the neighborhood you guys are in, do you guys have access to like a pool? Okay,
Yes. So there's a swimming pool, a tennis court that you have access to through the HOA, and then it's also paid for like the upkeep of the neighborhood playground, which is right at our backyard. So right behind us is the playground, the pool, the tennis court. So it's
got it.
basically an extension of our
Okay.
backyard.
All right. Okay, perfect. And all right. Are there any other liens on the property that we need to be aware of other than the mortgage?
No.
Okay, got it. And yeah, I'm guessing you still have a mortgage on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You mentioned interest rates earlier, actually. You guys did you refi during the, or you just bought it in 2020, right? What kind of interest rate did you get on it?
Right. We're under 4. I can't remember. Like right around 3. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's, I don't know if we're going to see those, those again,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
I doubt it.
Okay. All right. I know they're working on it right now. They wanted that. They wanted to get those pieces of information. Just out of curiosity, I mean, if the underwriter was to come back with an offer that made any sense for you guys, how soon would you be open to closing?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to find something else first. And I'll be honest, I have like kept a lookout for things. Like I have a Zillow notice still of like houses that have popped up, and there is not much there.
Yeah.
So, ideally, I would say like after the holidays.
Okay.
Because like I'd like to have one last Christmas with my kids here.
Yeah.
But I'd be open to shortly after the first of the year.
Got it. Okay. All right. Obviously, given you find something by that time frame.
I mean, if the number is high enough, like we'll figure something out. Yes.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. And if we can get an offer approved, do you mind if I just tell you how the process with us works? It's pretty straightforward.
Sure.
Okay, so once the home is approved and an offer is accepted, we sign a pretty basic agreement. It's written in third grade English, not to insult anybody's intelligence. But it's just super easy to understand. And then within 72 hours, you'll get a welcome call from our transaction coordinator where she'll line up for us to get photos of the property. Title company will make sure that there's a clear title for closing. We'll schedule to do a couple walkthroughs, and then we head to the closing table and get you guys paid. And it really is that simple. All right.
Okay.
The last thing that they wanted me to ask you was if we could get to a number that does make sense for both of us. Would you guys be ready to move forward with a purchase agreement today?
I have a feeling that the number is not. I don't want to say yes and then regret I don't know. It's gonna depend on the number.
For sure, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, give me a second. I'm gonna put you on another hold. I'll run back there, kind of see where they're at this point, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So I appreciate your patience. Sorry for the delay here. All right. So, I went to them and, just looking at, everything in the neighborhood. I mean, I really want to try to make this work. But, after looking at everything and given your situation and, to be honest, it looks like a cash offer from us is not likely going to be the best fit for a win-win situation.
Okay.
I mean, there is a price that they would be willing to buy the property at, but I mean, it's quite a bit lower than where you were hoping to be. I mean, they would be in the mid to high twos, looking at it from a fix and flip standpoint. Yeah. Yeah. And I know that's not going to work for you. I mean, given the square footage and everything that they would do to update it to, 2024 standards, like full kitchen, bathrooms, all that stuff, that's just where it would need to be for a cash number. However, I do have some good news. I didn't mention to you earlier, but we are a creative real estate company. We have a new program that I was really hoping I could get this property approved for. It's called our concierge service. And I didn't bring it up earlier just because they are really, really selective on what properties are approved because it's pretty labor intensive and resource intensive for us. And only a small percentage of the properties that come across our desk are actually approved for it. So I was actually pretty excited when I was able to get approval for your property. So this is how it works. From doing so many transactions in Indianapolis, we've developed a pretty robust network of realtors, other investors that we work with, and a certain percentage of the properties that come across our desk, they just don't fit our criteria, but they'd be great for another investor that just has a different business model than us, or even someone that plans on living there. And a lot of these investors, they're really good at fixing and flipping properties and being landlords and managing short-term rentals and midterm rentals. But what they're really terrible at is sourcing good properties, and they don't enjoy the sales and the marketing involved just because it is expensive and time consuming. And so the way that it would work is we would essentially agree to a net price with you where you get a guaranteed number. We would pay all of the closing costs and you wouldn't have to update or fix anything. And if there was anything that was requested to be fixed by the buyer before we close, we would take care of all that. And we would essentially just resell our contract to a third party and earn our fee from that buyer. So essentially, the experience and the net result would be the same as a cash offer. Just to be clear, though, we wouldn't be representing you as a realtor. We would be reselling our contract, which I know most people don't really care how we make money as long as they get every penny that they're promised. We would just earn our fee from the buyer and handle all the heavy lifting, and you can sit back and basically collect the check. And so you get the speed and convenience of a cash offer, but we'd be able to get you a bit of a higher price than other investors would be able to pay. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so basically, for this particular property, with the network of investors that we have, we'd actually be able to get you a net number, net to your pocket. And then, of course, your existing mortgage balance would be $325,000.
Okay. So I mean, I have to talk to my husband, but I don't think that would be enough.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I understand. All right. Well, when do you think you and your husband will sit down and really talk about it?
I mean, we could try to have that conversation tonight. But I mean, by the end of the week, probably.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Well, yeah, talk it over. I mean, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it gets you the speed and convenience of a cash number. You don't have to deal with, jumping through all the rigmarole of, painting and, making it look good for a retail showing and that type of thing. So you'll have that advantage there. And we basically handle all the heavy lifting. So,
Okay.
what would be a good day for me to reconnect with you on this?
I mean, if you're gonna call in the evening, honestly, Thursday or Friday are both fine.
Thursday or Friday? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll flying to Arizona Thursday, but I think I'll be done and back. Yeah, so I'll try to put it on the calendar. I'm going to be traveling Thursday, so I'll try to see if I can call you Thursday. If not, I'll give you a call Friday.
Okay.
All right. Did you have any questions for me before I let you go?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, perfect. Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you. I'm looking forward to connecting later this week and yeah, see if we can get something done for you.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Janelle.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
It's always great when they laugh at your first offer. Let's see. I kind of expected that. I mean, the neighborhood that she's in, um, built in 96. It's in pretty good shape. So, okay, so offer made. We're going to put her in the calendar for Thursday afternoon. All right. Let's see here. All right, if you guys are watching, just curious, put in the chat what market you guys are in and what kind of deals you guys are mainly focused on. What's up, D Williams? Yeah, bro. So check this out. So this is so we do novations, South Florida, looking for wholesale deals, single family homes. Okay, perfect. Awesome, man. So yeah, we do some deals in Florida as well. So it sounds like you're just primarily cash wholesaling, right? So when you're cash wholesaling, you are basically looking for fix and flips, right? That's pretty much effectively what you're looking for, fix and flips. So the way you're going to underwrite a deal is here, let me do this. I'll pull up the whiteboard and I'll run through this pretty quick just because I want to get back on some calls here. Let me just zoom in. Oh, getting an intimate look at the pores. Okay, so, all right, hopefully that works. Let me turn the light out and see if that gets rid of that glare. Nope, still, okay, that's, yeah. Okay, so that glare is going to be there no matter what. That's the, right, let me pop that back on here. It's actually from the window. All right, so Alexa, volume down. So there's two things, right? So when you're doing cash wholesale, really the underwriting process for cash wholesaling, you're underwriting a fix and flip. Okay. So really you're underwriting for a fix and flip, and then you're backing out your fee from that offer, right? So the general rule of thumb is you're going to take ARV times, depending on your market, it's going to be somewhere between 0.65 to Could be as much as 0.85 if you're in San Diego. But the average, I think, is like 0.75. So 75% of ARV minus repairs equals the MAO for flip. Okay. And then you take that formula. So once you've come up with that number, so let's just use an example, right? Let's say $300,000 house times 0.75. And let's just, where's my calculator at? Let's say it's a 1,500 square foot house and it's going to be $50,000 in renovation. So minus 50K equals, so you take $300,000 times 0.75 is 225 minus $50,000. And this is the buy price for a flipper. And that would be $175,000. Now, for you as the wholesaler, in order for you to make a profit, you have to subtract out however much you want to make. And you also have to account for negotiations, right? So if you want to make $10,000, you're not going to start at 165 because chances are they're going to say no to you the first offer you make. So when we make cash offers, we're usually coming in $40,000 below where we want to be. So our wholesale offer range would be minus 40. So it's going to be 135. And our low end profit we want to make is 20K. So 155. So put a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, and that's kind of how you do it. But that's the general rule of thumb for a cash wholesale, right? So you're going to take ARV times whatever, and it could be different in your market, right? South Florida, it might be a little bit different. You might do 70%, you might do 80%. If you're in San Diego, it's going to be like 80%, 82% of ARV minus repairs, and then that's the MAO. And then we'll back out the target profit we want to make. Okay, perfect. So with a novation, now the thing that I want to highlight is a cash wholesale deal. You're underwriting from ARV. What is its highest selling price if it was fully renovated top to bottom, decked out, and it was the nicest house without being overly improved in that market, right? That's the key component. Cash wholesale is based on ARV. For a wholesale novation, which is what we specialize in, you are looking at the as is value. So in its current condition, okay? So you're going to find comps that are, in a perfect world, it's a subdevelopment where literally every house is cookie cutter and they're all 1,525 square feet, right? Or whatever. But they're identical and you can see, okay, there's 3 comps and those as is comps. So just so it's a relatively similar example, if ARV is 300, let's say the as is value, let's say this property was built in, 2010, right? So it's only 14 years old, doesn't need a ton of work. And let's say the as is value is where it could sell on market. I'm seeing comps that have sold on market for, call it 260. Okay. You go times 0.9. So I want 90% of the as is value. Okay. And then minus our target fee. And this gives us our novation MAO. And actually, I'm going to coin the term MANO, maximum allowable novation offer. Okay. So maximum allowable novation offer. So in this scenario, and our target fee, just so you're clear, is $30,000. That is minimum what we want to make. I'm not going to make an offer that where the numbers flesh out to where my profit margin is less than 30K. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. So let's go through this math. We take 260 times 0.9 is 234 minus $30,000 equals a max allowable novation offer of $204,000. So that's what we can offer them, $204,000. And if it sells at this as is value of 260 after paying realtor commissions, closing costs, and some minor concessions, which will effectively be about 10%, that will leave us with a $30,000 spread on this deal. And here's the deal. Look at this. If I come up to my highest offer of 155 for a cash wholesale deal, I'm basically 50K higher with this novation offer. So I can put $50,000 more in their pocket. And remember, our 155 number, if we got a flipper to buy it at 175, we'd make 20 grand. If I offer them 50 grand more at 204 and I get somebody to buy it at 260, we make 30 grand. So the seller gets more money, we get more money, everybody gets more money. It's a win-win-win. Everybody's happy, agents getting a listing and getting paid along the way. So that's how we are able to come up with a higher price. Okay. Now put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense, if you're tracking with me. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. All right, you tracking? Perfect. All right. So what is the difference? Why wouldn't we just offer them this? Well, one, we have to anchor them to a low number, right? Because they're not going to accept, because this is still a low number than what they think. They might think, oh, I can get 260 for it, right? Like we still need to anchor them lower. And this has to be like a backup, like, damn, I didn't qualify. It's too low. Whatever. Right. But what are the differences between a cash wholesale? So generally, your cash wholesale is a fixer. Less than 5% of the properties that you're going to come across are going to be real fixers, right? And when I say real fixers, like they have to be updated, right? Like they're distressed properties. Somebody's grandma house where they have like plastic runners on the carpet and everything is in good working order, but it's just from 1970s. That's not necessarily what one would consider a fixer, right? Like we're talking about mechanical issues, right? Like wall issues, foundation issues, like things are broken, things are just not working properly. Electrical is outdated and needs to be, brought into updated to meet code. Those types of things, like damage to the home, right? Not just old, right? Because you could have, right? You could have a vintage Corvette, right? That's 50, 60 years old or whatever, but it still works and it's been maintained and kept in good condition. And then you could have a brand new 2023 Corvette that somebody drove across country 10 times and is falling apart, right? So that's the difference. Generally, a novation, the ideal property for a novation is it can qualify for FHA or VA financing options. Okay. The reason being is because when you list your property, and the goal here is to list the property and get it sold within 2 weeks to 30 days, get a buyer within 2 weeks to 30 days. Now, in order to do that, right, for a cash wholesale deal, you can only assign your cash wholesale deal, your cash contract to a cash buyer, right? If somebody comes and says, well, I have a conventional loan, you can't do anything with that with a cash contract, right? Um, Even if you listed your wholesale deal on the market, you can just simply assign it or you can double close. That's all you can do, right? Um, and that's great, but you have a limited buyer pool, right? There's only certain people out there that are coming with cash or hard money loans, right? And when I say cash buyer, I mean non-lender contingent offers, right? So hard money, private money, or real cash, right? Those are cash transactions, basically. Um, Now, with a novation, we want to open up that buyer pool. Who is going to reasonably pay the most amount of money for any property that exists on planet Earth? Like the avatar, the type of buyer. The person who's going to pay the most for a property, regardless of across all markets, like taking out every other variable, the person that's going to pay the most for a property is the person that's buying it to live in it, right? Person that's going to live in it, raise their kids, right? Flippers don't care about where Timmy and Susie are sleeping, right? And where they're going to, lose their first tooth and all that jazz, right? They're looking at it from a underwriting and profit margin standpoint. In this scenario, you're not going to find properties on market that you can novate because the premise is you're taking it and you're putting it on the market. So if it's already on the market, that's not going to be suitable for a novation strategy because it's already on the market. So unless you're going to start doing some renovations and updates to it or clean it up, then it's not really going to make a whole lot of sense. So check this out, right? This person who buys this at 175, the margin that they're going to make on this, right? 75%. So generally, they're going to have about a 15% net margin on that $300,000 sale price. So they're going to make 45 grand on it. So their profit will be 45. They bought it for 175. So that's 220. And then they have $50,000 in renovations. So they're at 270, and then they've got holding costs and selling costs, right? So they're going to make about $45,000, but they're looking at it through the lens of a spreadsheet, right? Like I need to make money on this, so I have to offer low enough to where I can make money. The person who's buying it to raise their family in, they're not looking at it from making money in 3 to 9 months. They're looking at making, maybe making money in 3 to 10 to 15 years when they sell it and it's appreciated after they've raised their family in it, they've lived in it, and they've, gotten value out of it that way. So it's a different end buyer that you're targeting. And what this does, D. Williams, the benefit, and here's why you should work with us and partner with us. Okay. Because as you are going after cash wholesale deals, are you marketing to on market properties or off market sellers? And I'll leave this up actually. Um, what's your primary focus? Are you going after off market sellers or on market? My guess is if you're focusing on market, then it's probably a budget challenge. So I used to do on market, but I want to start off market. Okay. And am I correct in the assessment that you were doing on market because it's free leads? and you're working on a tight constrained budget. And so the cost to buying leads, marketing to those leads, and then getting in front of those off market leads to find deals, it's just a little expensive for you right now. Or maybe you're just like kind of getting to that point where you're about to make that transition and you're willing to take on that cost. Is that fair? Definitely. Okay, cool. So that's a lot of people's trajectory, right? They start on market because it's cheap. You could do it for basically free. And if you're doing deals, then do that, right? And start building up a war chest, and then start pulling lists and going after off-market properties, right? And once you start doing that, you're going to find off-market properties that are fixers that you can just cash wholesale and certainly take those down. Now, when you come across one where it's in decent enough condition, it's not like falling apart, it's not like super distressed, it's just dated, and you try to wholesale it and you can't find a cash buyer, right? Bring it bring it to me and my team, because what we can do is we can convert that over to a novation. So I would basically get on the phone with the seller. I'd help you renegotiate the contract to a novation, right? So, and it's a different contract, it's a different set of documents. And basically what we would do is we would convert it over to a novation agreement, and then we would list it for you. We would vet the agent. We would put it through the whole process, because it's a pretty in-depth process, and you got to do it right so you don't get screwed by the title companies. So we'll basically push it through the entire pipeline, get it converted to a novation, get the right agent involved to list it, and we'll get it out there and set it up so you can take this deal that you were trying to wholesale that you couldn't find a buyer for because it was either locked up too high, or it's not really a fixer, or there's no real, meat on the bone for them. And it's a dead deal, so to speak. And we can convert that to innovation where you can make some money, and we can split those proceeds and get that across the finish line. And, a lot of times, I mean, we've split deals 50, 60, $70,000. I mean, we have a deal closing right now. It's going to be a $145,000 novation deal that we're splitting with our JV partner, right? So, these deals can be really, really big. We actually have another one right now that's listed that we locked it up for 660. We have it listed for 950. So let me just do the math on that real quick. 950. I don't think it's going to sell at 950, but let's say it does. Minus 660 after taking the 10% off. That is basically a $200,000 spread. So now those are juicy deals. The $200,000 spread, I locked that up directly. That was our lead. It's not a JV partner, so we're gonna, get the fruit of that labor ourselves. But the other one was a JV deal. We've got a bunch of JV deals, and our minimum target is $30,000. Oh, I said I would get back to this in a second. Why is our minimum profit 30? And why do we always use 90%? So we want to take 10% off of the as is value, because that 10% factors in for realtor commissions on both the buy side and the sell side, closing costs, and minor concessions, right? You're going to have 6% in commissions. You're going to have 1 to 2% for closing costs. So worst case scenario, you're at 8%, and then you got 2% kind of just as a buffer for like minor concessions, little cleanup, things like that. And then $30,000 is the target, because if you do less than $30,000, like right now, like there's a lot of things that could come up with a lender's offer, or a lender contingent offer, where they require repairs. I'll give you a perfect example. We had a property in Joshua Tree. The lender required the roof to be replaced and the septic tank to be replaced. Well, that all total cost us $23,000. If we didn't have a $30,000 target fee in there, we would not have made any money on it, right? So we only ended up making like $9,000 on that deal. But if we only underwrote it with, let's say we underwrote it at 0.92% and we only set aside $20,000, we would have made $0 on it. We would have probably lost money on that deal. So you don't want to go below $30,000 net profit, target profit, and 10% off the as is value. And if you're struggling to find an as is comp, ideally you can find two or three and you take the average of those. You also want to look at days on market. How long did it take those to sell? If you have three comps and they all took 100+ days to sell, then you're going to want to, I would probably take 5% off of that as is value, because usually we're going to do a 60-day close of escrow, right? So we need to have some sort of buffer in there to make sure that it can sell faster. But if you're finding like this one we just comped, all of them were pending within like 1 to 2 weeks. So we can confidently make that offer and say, yeah, this thing's going to sell. So we underwrote this one at a $395 list price, which I think it'll sell there, times 0.9 is 355.5 minus $30,000 puts us at a $325,000 novation offer. So that's how we arrive at those numbers. So hopefully you got value out of that. If you want to JV with us, if you have any dead deals, contracts that you locked up, you couldn't find a buyer, you having trouble moving them, and you think this could possibly be a scenario for innovation, then definitely email me. I'm going to put it in the chat, but the email is chris@lazprop.com, and you're going to want to CC Matt D at lazprop.com. So I'll put it in the chat, CHRIS@LAZPROP.com, and then Matt D, MATTD at lazprop.com, and we'll underwrite the deal. So you send it over to us, send us all the information you have on it. We'll underwrite it and we'll tell you if we think we can convert this to innovation. And if not, why. We'll provide all the underwriting. We'll show you exactly how we came up with the numbers. Be a lot of information that's going to be really, really helpful for you. Some of it might be confusing, but we'll back up all of our information with data to show you how we arrived at the numbers we arrived at, and why we are confident in doing that deal. So, all right, let's jump on to another one. So there isn't any inspection period because no, there is an inspection period. So good question. So typically our novation agreements are going to be a 60-day close of escrow and a 60 business day close of escrow and 60 business day inspection period. They run concurrently, or not concurrently, they simultaneously, right? So when you bring us a deal that we're going to convert to a novation, we're basically the way that conversation goes is we come to your seller and we say, hey, look, someone made a mistake. Basically, this is not the script for it, but this is basically what it's coming down to. You're going to get thrown under the bus, basically. It's like, hey, D. Williams, put this deal together. He was a little overzealous, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get this deal done. So we rip the freaking rug out from under them, and they're like, thinking, oh man, this deal was going to get done. Like, oh my God, it's not going to get done. Yeah, like it was underwritten improperly, blah, 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 blah. What's up, Stefan? Yeah, dude, send it over. Here, I'll put my email again. Send it over and CC Matt on it. Basically rip the rug out from under them. Yes, there's no way we're going to be able to get this done at these numbers, blah, 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 blah. And then we say, but, here's I partner with D. Williams from time to time. He brings me in on more challenging deals that, there's a struggle with, there's a problem with, right? And so I got really good news for you. And, we basically go through a novation pitch and tell them we're not the buyer, right? We're not the buyer. We have a big network of investors and retail buyers that we've worked with in the past, and we're going to bring your buyer. And properties don't get approved for this program, like hardly ever. Like it's so rare that we barely even talk about. And this is why D. Williams didn't even talk about this program. But I got great news for you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Your property was approved. And then we go through the whole pitch, run them through contract, get them locked up, and then we handle it. And then you get paid on a deal that was dead, that you spent money to acquire, and we're in the process of losing and having to cancel. So, and Stefan sounds like he's got a deal that he wants us to run the numbers on. And yeah, you want to send that over to me? Are you looking for, want me to run the numbers on this right now, or you want to like, you're just going to send over the deal and then we'll get back to you on it and see what the numbers are, and then we can put this together and JV and get it across the finish line. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to make another call here. Yeah, email me over the details. I'm going to make a call right now, but email me over the details, and then make a couple calls, and then you can look at it. Just keep in mind we're live, right? So, you know, I'll underwrite it. D. Williams, do you ever have issues with the seller when you tell them you're going to list it? So that's the thing. We're not just telling them, hey, we're going to list your property. That's not the conversation, right? It's we're going to market it out to our buyers, and we may also list it, right? So there's a little bit of it's all about the framing and how you present that. So you'll see the next time you know, once you get a deal that you're going to that you think makes sense for this, or it could, just bring it over, and then we'll basically record the call, go through the whole process, and hopefully get one across the finish line for you. Okay, so all right, yeah, Stefan, just send it over in an email, and then as soon as I see that, I will put together details. Now, the perfect scenario for JV on these is something that you have locked up under contract, you've tried to dispo, and you have struggled to dispo it, and then we kind of help save the day, because it's basically, it doesn't really make sense as a cash offer, right? Like, you locked it up hoping to make it a cash offer and trying to fit a square peg through a round hole, but there's no buyers. Maybe it's in a rural market. There's a whole host of reasons why it might not work out as a cash deal. And we can usually save that deal and get it across the finish line and get you paid along the way. Okay, so. All right, I'm going to call this Evansville one because she actually has a reasonable number, somewhat.
Hi, this is Renee. Just leave a message and the number, and I'll get back to you. Thanks.
Awesome, brother. Glad you got value. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hit me up on IG too at Chris Closes Your Deal. And yeah, let me know if you got anything and you need help with. And let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to call this one again. Go 90 days. $60. Okay, how much does she want?
Hi, this is Renee. Just leave a message and a number, and I'll get back to you. Thanks.
All right, Stefan. So I got your email with the address. And I just responded to your email. So there's some more information that we would need. So since you're here in the chat, I'll just go, yes, this is a lot of value, almost like a mini masterclass. Awesome, dude. Glad you got value out of that. So it looks like, oh, perfect. Okay, so this property, I'm looking at it right now, looks like it was built in 1999. Let's see. They tried to sell it. Oh, it was just listed. Okay. Um, Dang, they've been trying to sell this since June. So, oh, since before June. Okay, so they've been trying to sell this since April 21st. So they listed it at 330, went pending 4 days later, and went back on the market a month later. Then they removed it, then they listed it, then they price changed 5K. 21 days later, then 2 months later, they did another $15,000 price change. Then it went pending 3 days later. Then it went back on the market 3 days later. Then they did another price reduction 9 or 10 days later. Then it went pending 14 days later. Then it went live again 3 days later. Then it went pending 10 days later. Then it went back on the market the next day. Man, this thing's keeps on falling in and out of escrow. And so now it's down at, they had it at 305 and they removed the listing. Okay. Can you novate something that needs more than just cosmetic updates or no, because it has to be able to qualify for a loan? Okay, so really good question. You can novate, it's like Meet the Fockers. You can novate anything. Anything with anything with nipples, right? No, so you can novate any. So the term novate just means to replace a contract with a new contract. Okay. So you're canceling a contract and replacing it with a contract, but there's a contractual agreement that allows you to do that, right? You could do that just simply have a contract and then cancel with the person and then replace it. But you have to get their buy-in, right? But with a novation, you're preemptively getting their buy-in that it's okay to replace the contract with another contract. So the short answer to your question is yes, you can novate something that needs more than just cosmetic updates. The challenge is it's going to come up in inspection. So let's say I list a property and needs more than just some cosmetic updates, right? And let's say, well, a perfect example is that property that was in Joshua Tree, right? It needed a roof and it needed a septic tank, right? Those are more than just cosmetic. The only type of loan that would qualify for that would not require us to replace those things is a conventional loan or a cash buyer. So I could have novated it and either assigned it to a cash buyer or novated it and did replace my cash contract with another cash contract with an end buyer, right? I could have novated it from my cash contract to a retail conventional contract, right? And not have to do those repairs. But the buyer we got, they actually brought a USDA loan, which is very much like FHA or VA. It's government backed, and they require those things to be done. So there's a few options, right? You can either fix it, you can get the buyer to pay more for the property and fix it. You can not fix it, and then that buyer can't qualify because they don't have the money to fix it before close of escrow. So there's a handful of things that you can do. It just makes it harder to identify a buyer, right? You're shrinking your buyer pool. If it can't qualify for VA or FHA, doesn't mean you can't sell it as an ovation. It just means it's not going to qualify for those loans. So if you have buyers that are coming in with those loans, it's going to be very difficult for that to go through, right? Perfect example is the one that we're going to make, hopefully make $200,000 on. That one is a $950,000 property. There's not in Indianapolis, there's not an FHA buyer coming in with a loan for a $950,000 house. It's just not happening unless they have a massive chunk of cash, right? Same thing with the VA. They're not coming in to buy that VA. So the only buyers that are buying that type of property are going to be conventional or FHA. And conventional has, since you need 10 to 20% down, there's going to be minimum requirements for things to be fixed and updated. All right, so Stefan, so I'm looking at the property that you sent me. Now, what I want to do, because it's been on the market and last price was 305, I have to presume it's not going to sell for 305. What I also have to presume is that if they were willing to sell it for 305, then they were willing to walk away with about $275,000 is where they were willing to go at least. Right now, what I want to do, property radar, I want to see what their mortgage balance is. I always want to double check what a seller's mortgage balance is because I need to know, like, is there meat on the bone, or is this seller going to have to cut a check to sell their house? Okay, so they're older couple in their 60s. Let's see what their mortgage balance is. Okay, so this one, so they have a mortgage balance of about $160,000. So worst case scenario, 160 plus 30 divided by 0.9. For them to break even and get the mortgage paid off, assuming there's nothing else, it would have to sell for at least 211. Okay. Why does that matter? Doesn't really matter, but I want to know where my low watermark is, right? What's the worst case scenario? So now I'm looking at this property. It's a 3.2, 2,300 square feet. So let's look at comps that have sold in the neighborhood and is built in 1999. So let's go 3.2. And let's go last 90 days, ideally. Okay. So this is actually good. Let's go high to low. And this is why agents end up dropping the ball, is because they underwrite from different areas that sometimes don't make sense. So this is on Deshawn Road. Now there is a property that's sold on Deshawn Road. Oh, this one's on Deshawn Creek, right? Let me just say. I'm not going to share my screen because I don't want to expose which property it is, but okay, so let me look at year built. I don't want to go over 2005. I just use Zillow. Okay, so if I look between 1990 and 2005, there's 4 properties that have sold between 285 and 350. Okay, now our property is 2320 square feet. I want to see if I can pull up realtor.com and see pictures. Here we go. 25 pictures. Perfect. Oh, this is definitely novation worthy right here. Now it's just going to be a matter of now this, Stefan, this could be a good deal. What did they say they would take for the property when you talk to them? Bro, that deck out back is painted like mustard yellow. What were they thinking? Huh. Okay. All right. So 285 is the low end. Yeah, 275. There. So first off, you can confidently go to them and say, look, you're not going to get 275. What's up, Pocket? You're not going to get 275 because, well, matter of fact, okay, so let me rephrase that, right? Here's what I would do in that situation. They lowered the listing to 305. So you already know they have the propensity to list it, right? So when I talk to somebody and I see that they've already had it listed and their net number at 305 times 0.9 would have been 275. And then I say, okay, what are you willing to take for it? And they're like 275. What I'm saying to them is like, oh, okay, got it. So you'd list, you take an offer at 275. So after commissions, closing costs, buyer request for repairs, all that, that's usually about, 10%. So times 0.9. So, you would net in that situation, you'd net right around 245. So if you can get right around that 245 net, you'd be happy with that. And I'm going to assume the sale. They might come back to me and say, no, I want a net 275. And then I have to have a different conversation with them. But if they're like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, okay, so they're willing to take 275 as a retail number. And now I can start doing my figures. What I think is that their property could sell realistically 285. Just look at it's a 93 build. Yeah, given the situation, I think 285 Pocket wholesale on market deals, dude. Wholesaling on market is great. It takes a lot more, you got to work a little bit more, and your margins are going to be thinner. But yeah, dude, it's a great strategy, especially if you have a system optimized. So if you look around on our YouTube channel, we have an on-market offer system. It's like a privy video, where we teach you how to do our on-market offer system. And there's you could purchase, I think it's like $100 or whatever. You get the calculator, you get the whole thing. And it basically teaches you how to do the on-market offer system, where you could basically pull lists of on-market properties and blast out like a few hundred offers every single day if you wanted to. That's what I would do if I'm doing on market. But okay, so let's say we could list this for 285 times 0.9 minus 30K. We could make them a novation offer of 226. So Stefan, did you make an offer to them cash? Oh, bro. So so Stefan, so there's a comp that is actually pending right now on Brookstone Trail, 7118 Brookstone Trail, that is currently pending at 299.9. So whoever sold it, they bought it on July 31st for $210,000. So there's your numbers right there. This other property that is literally identical to theirs. It's a 4.3, 1696 square feet. Actually, ours is bigger square footage. But it's like the next block over. Sold for 210. See the condition. And then got fully renovated. And not fully renovated. They probably just did floors and paint and like some minor fixtures and stuff. But this one sat for 45 days. Um, but yeah, I would underwrite this for a cash deal and then anchor them low with this 210 sale. And show them that, hey, this property just got fully renovated, and prior to it being renovated, it sold for 210. And then just see what they say about that. This is literally right on the next block over. There's another one that sold for 305. It's renovated. All right, guys, I'm gonna make some more dials, but yeah, take a look at that. I would make them a cash offer, Stefan, and anchor them low, to where you think it needs to be. I would anchor them below 200,000. Um, I would say, yeah, I would try to anchor them to like right around like 185, 190, and just like basically tell them like, hey, that 210 sale, with commissions, closing costs, and everything, that seller netted about 185 to 190, right? And so you anchor them there. Anybody's cash offer is going to need to be in that ballpark, in that, right around 200 range. And then see what they say. You need to get them off of that 275 number, because there's no world where 275 makes sense as innovation. It needs to be like 2.25, because we're going to sell it at like 285. Okay, let's get back on some dials. No answer for that one. Sevierville. All right. If you guys are just joining, let me know where you guys are located, where you're doing deals, what kind of deals you're doing. And if you're a new watcher, okay, so let's see. So this one, man, this house is a mess. Ugh. Okay, this could be a good Airbnb. Whoa. D. Williams, yeah, actually, that's a good question. Expired listings can work for novations. And we haven't done honestly, like I haven't done a lot of expired listings for novations. But here's the thing, right? Like the great thing about an expired listing is it's already been on the market and that seller has gotten beat up by the marketplace. The marketplace has told them they're overpriced. So now when you come in and you have the conversation with them about the fact that like, hey, you want too much money for your property, that conversation is going to be a lot better received and easier to have just simply by virtue of the fact that they've basically been told that. Um, all right. By the way, for those of you who pay attention to politics, I mean, you got to pay attention, but if you're not excited about freaking Trump getting in office, you guys are going to see some big freaking things. He's about to abolish the Department of Education, which people are going to be like, how are you going to abolish the Department of Education? Like, what's going to happen to the schools? Like, trust me when I tell you, it is going to be one of the best things ever. When things get given back to the states and the states have the opportunity to do things more efficiently, like you're basically creating a government where there is competition. You're going to have all these different states kind of having their own process, and it's going to create multiple different ways for things to operate. And so you're going to see, okay, this works, this doesn't, this works, this doesn't, and it's going to create innovation. I mean, it's things are going to get way better and we're going to cut so much spending. Elon Musk is going to just freaking slash wasteful spending. Hopefully, we'll bring our taxes down and stop paying exorbitant amounts of money for a bunch of nothing. Okay, let's call this lady.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
Okay, let's see here.
Hello,
Hey, what's up, Tim? It's Chris. How are you?
who is this?
This is Chris. I was reaching out to you about your property over on Lucy Ave. Looks like it was paired with us by one of our referral companies. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Yeah,
Okay. When's a better time to connect?
probably later this week sometime.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good, man. I'll give you a call later this week.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep.
See ya. Okay, next dial.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
All right, Stefan, just got your email. So basically what you're gonna want to do, because here's the thing, right? Like I can get on the phone with them, but the way the process works the best is they need to be anchored first, right? So they need to have a really low anchor offer. So this is where you would come in and you would say, you know, did you like what's an ARV comp? Did you find an ARV comp? And I wasn't looking at an ARV comp, by the way. I was just looking for an as is comp. Um, so I'm just curious, like if you what you think the ARV is on that one. Yeah, just put it in the chat what you think the ARV is. But let's say the ARV is, I don't know, 335. I'm just pulling a number out of my butt. So 335 times 0.75 minus it's 2,300 square feet, I think it was, or 2,500 square feet. So for cosmetic updates, that also has a deck. You're probably looking at renovation costs, assuming the whole thing needs cosmetics. You're looking at a $60,000 renovation, and then minus your target fee. Okay, yeah, so I wasn't too far off, right? So 305 to 325. I mean, I think it'd probably be on the higher end just because the square footage in that other comp sold for I think 305, and that's a smaller one. So let's say 325. Let's say 320, just to be conservative. 320 times 0.75 minus 60K renovation, and then minus your target profit, so say $20,000, right? So that would put a cash offer around 160. Okay. So what you should do is you should go in, get on the call with them, and basically you just want to essentially what I did on that last call. You want to go in and say, hey, I'm really, really trying to make this work. It just doesn't seem like a cash offer is really going to work out to be a win-win scenario for us. There's a number that they would be interested in buying it at, but it's going to be significantly lower than where you guys really want to be and need to be at. And I really want to try to make this work. But I mean, for them to come in with a cash offer, anybody to come in with a cash offer, it's really going to need to be, around like 160 to 170. And don't pause. Like normally you want to make that offer and you want to pause to get their reaction, but we already know what their reaction is going to be. So they're really going to need to be in between like 160 to 170 maybe. And I just know that that's not going to work for you. And show them the comps to support that, right? So let me see here. So matter of fact, here's what I would do. 325 times 0.9 minus 60 minus 50 minus yeah. So basically I would just come in and just go in with them. It's like, hey, look, really want to try to make this work. I don't know that a cash offer is going to be a win-win for us here, and I really like to make these win-win scenarios for people. But a cash offer, like, I'm happy to share what the offer would be. Just, if you could promise not to hang up on me when you hear it. And then now you're getting them to commit to not hanging up because you're going to come in at a 160 offer. It's like, hey, look, so here's the deal. I'm pretty positive this is not going to work for you, but for a cash offer, we'd really need to be around 160, 170. And then let them talk. Oh, no, there's no way that could work. Yeah, look, hey, I know, I get it. I totally get it, right? I probably wouldn't want to take, 160 either if I were you. And then really what you need to do is you need to get them off of that 275. Like, I mean, we're obviously miles apart. I mean, 275. Let's see, 275. I mean, how close to my number do you think you would be willing to go? Like, I mean, we can go a little lower. Like, okay, well, I mean, if you took an offer for 275, if you got an offer for 275, you would probably net after commissions and closing costs about, 240. I mean, if we could get you close to that, like, is that even reasonable? And then see what they say. And then Then what I can do is I can pop on with them and I can come in and do the novation pitch, lock them up. But we would really need to be at like 2.25 is where our novation offer would want to be. So you call them first, have that conversation, anchor them down low, and then I can come in with the full novation pitch and then lock it up and we can get it across the finish line. All right, I'm gonna call this other chick again.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Okay, on to the next one. I'm about to just grind out calls here for a bit, guys. Richard.
Yeah, this is Dick. I'm sorry I'm unable to answer your call right now. If you would please leave me a brief message, your name, and a phone number I can.
Dick Jacket.
Yeah.
Hey, Dick, this is Chris. How are you?
Hey, fine.
Good, good. I was calling about your property over on Campfield Circle. It looks like it was referred to us by one of our referral partners, and they paired you with your property with us because they thought we'd be a good fit for you. Is now a bad time?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess they had mentioned here, I guess your son currently occupies the property, but we're gonna have
Yeah.
him move into another place or something.
Thinking about it. Yep.
Okay. All right. Got it. Well, and by the way, I do have to let you know all calls are monitored and recorded for quality and training purposes. The point of
I don't care.
okay, perfect. They make me say that. So
All right, go ahead.
but the point of this call really is just to see if your property qualifies for, our criteria in getting an offer as is. We're generally looking to buy properties for usually one of two reasons. Either we're going to fix it all the way up to 2024 standards and then sell it, or we're going to keep it in our portfolio as some sort of a rental property. So by the end of this call, I'll either be able to get an approval from our underwriters with an offer, or they're going to deny us and they'll tell us exactly why. All right.
Sure.
Perfect. Now, if we do get an approval, which I'm, keeping my fingers crossed for, some of the benefits of working with us is that we would buy the home as is. We'd cover all the closing costs and there's no commissions that are taken out of the number. Do you mind grabbing a pen and a piece of paper real quick? I'm going to have you jot down some contact info. And then if we do get this approved, there's going to be some other info you're going to want to take down as well.
Well, I'd have to do that tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We're in a different time zone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're, oh yeah, it's like 7:30. Okay.
Yeah, you're right at my bedtime.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to interrupt your bedtime.
No, you're not. I'm still up. You're
Oh,
lucky.
okay. Okay. All right. All right. So you want to handle this call now, or do you want me to call you
Well,
tomorrow?
I'll get as far as I'll go with it now. But, as far as the place goes, I'm sure you've done your research. You've done your tax checks and all that, seen the square footage and all that good stuff, right?
Just a couple, like just the basics, haven't really done a whole heck of a
Okay.
lot.
Well, then the basics are generally what gives you a good picture of what the thing is.
Mhm.
The new roof this year. All the appliances have been replaced. Hot water heater, kitchen stove, microwave, all that stuff's been redone. It's in really, really good condition. And other than that, that's about all I can think of. It actually, as far as having to, buying it as is in damn good shape.
Okay, great.
But the determining factor is what is the offer.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because I don't want anybody blowing smoke. I don't need smoke blown up my butt. I've had that off too many times. It's too old for that crap. And I'm also not gonna get caught up into signing a contract, and then the person I signed a contract with lists the home for sale,
Got it.
like they did to my daughter, and then slowly but surely, every week they dropped the price $5,000 or $10,000, which was crazy.
Wow.
Until they finally got out of that contract, it was ridiculous, and that's not my intention either.
I gotcha.
So-
I gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, we can definitely see what we can come up with. And, the first step is seeing if they're even going to approve it, because there's certain criteria they're looking
Sure.
for. So, I guess catch me up to speed. What is it that's actually got you considering selling?
Going from a townhouse to a house,
Got it. Okay.
1 story.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes a big difference when you start getting older.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So are you currently occupying it, or you've already vacated and it's just your son there?
No, I'm not in there. My son's in there.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm in a 1-story place now.
Got it. Okay. All right. Is your son paying you rent, or are you just free housing for
No,
your son?
he's making the payments on it.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Any reason he wouldn't just, take it on and keep it himself, or?
He doesn't like 2 stories.
Oh, he doesn't like 2 stories either. Okay. Got it.
No, probably gets it from me.
I hear you. Well, my wife and I, we just closed on our house. We went from a 2-story house to now we have 2 steps. That's it. So, and we're excited about that.
It makes a big difference.
Oh yeah. Well, especially when you have a
then-
20-month-old.
Well, absolutely, yeah. And the other thing is too, when you have to change an air conditioning filter, you got to go up the stairs whether you want to go or not.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. All right.
It just gets old.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right. Well, I guess how long have you guys been thinking about selling?
I've been tossing it back and forth about a year.
Okay. All right. And I guess, so this is not your primary. You have a primary already. So
Yes.
you sell this house. What's the next plan? Are you just going to shove the money in a bank account and,
Nope.
are you going to go to Vegas? You're going to buy another
Nope. Oh,
property?
hell. No, buy another property.
Okay. Nice. Any particular things in mind?
Single story.
Got it. Okay. For your
Yeah.
son?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. In the same general vicinity or elsewhere?
I don't know. His job, sometimes they talk about transferring him, then they, cools down and they don't. So, I never know he's up or down.
Got it. Okay. All right. Cool. And well, yeah, we can definitely help out. Is it just yourself that owns the property, or is there anybody else that would need to be involved?
Just me.
Just you. Okay. All right.
Just me.
Perfect. All right. And I guess in an ideal world, what were you hoping to get for the property?
I'd like to get $2 million.
2 million.
That's, yeah. What did you say? It came out of your mouth, remember? Well, what I'd like to get, that's what I'd like to get. And then I was going to follow that up with, I'd settle for $1.5 million.
Okay.
I'm looking for about $375.
375. Okay. I mean, I might be more inclined to give you 2 million if you give me 2 million
No.
months to pay it.
Nah. Best I could do is give you an insurance policy.
Okay.
You
So
could be the beneficiary.
Hey, that's actually how I bought my primary residence. We actually we because the seller had no equity and they were going to lose money trying to sell it. So we actually took over their mortgage. We put it into a trust and then made my wife and I the beneficiaries of the trust. And we were actually able to put like 40 grand in the seller's pocket instead of having to write a check to sell the house. So it was actually a pretty
That's yeah.
yeah.
That's a nice deal, especially for them.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah.
And for us, we actually got the benefit of keeping their mortgage. So we got the benefit of 4.625%
Yeah,
interest rate.
they're a good rate.
Yep, exactly. So it was win-win for everybody. So sorry, did you said 275?
No, 3.
375. Okay, cool. I
Yeah,
just wanted to
I'm
make sure.
old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah. Well, you said the 2 million, so I was like, I got a
Yeah,
little dyslexia and I missed the
hey,
two.
forget the 375. We're that's fine with that's fine with me.
All
No, that'd be a
right.
little overkill.
Yeah, just a bit, I mean, unless you
Yeah.
got like diamond plated,
No, that would still be
fixtures.
overkill. That would still be overkill. Be like all the
Uh,
gold toilets and all that. No, that's overkill.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, cool. Well, before we talk about the inside, talk to me a little bit about the outside of the house and the neighborhood. So I know it's a condo. Guessing there's HOA, right?
Yes,
Okay. What's the HOA fee?
I think it's about 3.
300 a month?
And that's a guess.
Okay. Got it. All right. And what's the neighborhood like? What kind of amenities does the neighborhood have?
When you got the what do you call it? You got to have a punch key to get in there, the code. I mean, it's well kept up. The management people keep it up nicely, and they've got HOA goes around and they keep track of everybody's stuff, and they don't allow this, and they don't allow that, and they don't allow it.
Mhm.
So I mean, his place is located on the lagoon, which is same thing as they call a retention pond.
Mhm.
Man-made.
Yep.
But the real estate dollar, fixes it up so like a little lagoon, right? Anyway, he's got a nice place.
Nice. Okay.
But the back porch is all screened in real nice, and it's a nice place. It is.
Nice. All right. Perfect. And let's see here. It looks like it was built back in 2005. Any structural issues that you're aware
None.
of? Okay.
0.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Well, I guess talk to me about the inside. So it was built in 2005. When you walk in the house, does it still look exactly like it looked in 2005?
Well, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it in 2005.
Oh, okay.
I was not the original purchaser.
Got it.
We bought it from a couple that had been in the military, and they were stationed in other countries, and so they didn't know when they were ever going to get to come back. So they went ahead and put it on the market, and we kind of bought it from them.
Got it. Okay. All right. And okay, perfect. What are the floors like?
Well, you've got carpeting in the upstairs, and then I think it's tile in the lower level.
Okay. Is that
I
all
think.
throughout?
Yeah, on the lower level.
Got it. Okay.
I think once you hit the stairs, all that, it's all carpet going upstairs.
Okay. All right. And let's see. The kitchen, is the kitchen original to the build?
Original in the as far as the structure goes,
Mhm.
but it's had the appliances all replaced.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
just done that in the last probably 6 to 8 months, I would guess, maybe 12. Maybe not even that long, but he's got them all replaced.
Okay. Got it. So kitchen is so cabinets, counters, and everything, and fixtures
Yeah.
are all original. Appliances
Right.
were updated. Okay.
Right, water heaters replaced. Roof is replaced.
Are you responsible for the roof, or is that the
No, it's HOA.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Got it. And then what about the bathrooms? Are those original? I know it's a 2.5 bath. Are they all original?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And let's see here. It's just on a slab, right?
You know, I didn't build it. I'm going to guess yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not off grade. No, it's got to be on a slab.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Let's say you were going to keep it. You strolled into Lowe's and, they're like, hey, you know what? Congratulations. You are our 1 millionth customer, Dick. And so for that, you win a $30,000 sweepstakes. The only caveat is you have to take that 30 grand and you have to put it into this property and this property alone. What are the things you would be doing to it?
Well, first thing I'd have to do is get with my son and said, you know, what do you want to throw away a bunch of money on?
Mm-hmm.
And go from there. As I said, I don't live in it.
Yeah.
His
Okay.
taste and my taste are two different things. And he's got it, you know, I mean, it's got a nice looking place. He's not 18 or 20 or 25. He's 40 some years old, so he's settled down, you know.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice place. He just getting tired of the upstairs like I am. I hated them.
Got it. Okay.
I gave a house away. My last house, I gave it away. I had 6,000 square feet under the roof, 4,600 heat and air, and I hated the upstairs with a passion. 6 years ago, I sold it for $575. Today, you get $1.2 million for it.
Huh.
Because the guy I sold it to put it on the market. The house right across the street from mine, my old one, they just sold it for 1.1.
Wow.
And my house was so much nicer than that one across the street. I know he'll get every bit of 1.2 million for it.
Yeah. All right. Man, I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm just doing some basic looking. I'm not really, diving deep into it.
That's fine. You know, you're not gonna. It ain't gonna matter one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to offend you, but I mean, would it shock you to
wouldn't offend
know? Would it shock you to know that the highest sold comp in the entire complex was a 3-bed and it sold for 305?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
I mean, you could have said 275, and that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend of mine just sold a house, and depending upon the circumstances, that's what you don't get into that aspect.
Yeah.
But he's got a 4-bedroom house, about 2,000 square feet, and he just sold it for $295. He sold it to get it off his back.
Yeah.
Because it was a divorce settlement thing.
Yeah, I mean the other,
Go ahead.
all the stuff. Let me just see, because that was a 3-bed. Let me see what the highest. Yeah, I mean the 2-beds are selling for between 240 and 285.
No, see, we're not in dire straits to sell that house.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know, he's living in it. It's like he likes it.
Yeah.
He's got everything replaced. He's in good shape. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you know, you get I get bombarded. He doesn't because they got my
Exactly, because you're on the title.
Yeah, because I'm on the title, and I can't. You know, I can go through my phone and I've got people all the time
Oh yeah.
texting me.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what the big deal is about everybody buying up real estate.
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality is it's just simply a marketing strategy, and they know, I mean, we all know, like, if we reach out to enough sellers and talk to enough homeowners, we're going to find a few that are, ready to sell and have, some level of urgency to sell. I was actually just working with a seller recently who's in foreclosure, and they needed to sell or they were going to get foreclosed on, and a retail sale wouldn't have worked for them, so there's those types of situations. There's all types of situations. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like you're in a real big hurry to sell, and it also just looking at the basics here, I think we'd end up just the comps that I'm seeing are $100,000 off of what you're hoping to get. So I think if if you don't need to sell, hold on, and now that Trump's in, maybe
Well, things will change.
market's looking up, that's for sure.
Yeah, things will definitely change.
So,
Interest will go down.
oh
People
yeah,
will be buying, buying again, and
oh yeah,
good for the real estate companies and all that. Yeah.
yep,
No, I'm
yep,
not. As I say, I'm not in it, and I don't feel insulted. Everything is fine. It is what it is. I get who what I care.
yeah,
The payment gets made, and I don't walk up and down steps.
exactly. Yeah, there's a couple for sale right now. Let me just see here. It looks like, well, there's one. Hold on. Yeah, there's one in the neighborhood that's a little bit smaller, and that one's listed for 230. So yeah, I think your best bet's hold off, and then if you really want to get that 375 number, wait till next year and see what the market does at that point.
He'll probably have to wait a couple
Yeah,
years,
most.
which is fine because he's still building equity, so it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
especially with the hurricanes, the property insurance has gone freaking through the roof there. So a lot of stuff's sitting.
You don't you ain't telling me anything I don't already know.
Yeah, but
But you know what? You got to
yep,
shop it.
exactly.
I saved $2,500 off my homeowner's insurance by shopping it.
Nice.
It was nice because I got more coverage.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Well, the thing was is the middleman so got cut
Yeah.
out,
Yep.
and that made the biggest difference. I don't have that commission.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the insurance companies left Florida for a period of time.
Yes, they
And
did.
but they're starting to come back. So I think I think over the next 12 months or so, there's going to be more competition, which always
Oh,
reduces
sure. It
reduces
helps.
costs. So, but all right. Well, hey, it was great chatting with you. I'll tell you, man, if
Yes, sir.
everybody was as easy to talk to as you are, Dick, my job would be a heck of a
Well.
lot easier. So I appreciate it.
You need a challenge, though, okay?
Hey, every once in a while, but I also have a
Yes,
wife
sir.
at home, so I get challenged plenty.
There you go. I can relate to that. Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, nice. All right, Dick. Well, you have a great rest of your evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hmm. All right. So D Williams, novation formulas as of value times 0.9, then take away 30K. Yep, that's it. All right. Let's see here.
Please leave your message for 574256827.
Hmm. All right, let's keep dialing.
Hello?
Hi, Maria. This is Chris. How are you? Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Maria. I was calling you about your property over on King Ave. Looks like it was referred to us by our referral company, and they paired your property with us because they thought we'd be a good fit. Did I catch you at a bad time? I guess I did. Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
This is Bob Haney with Playball Indiana and the RBI program. Sorry I missed your call.
Okay, let's see here. Hello, Bob. Hey, this is Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, I was calling you about your property over on Scatterwoods Lane. Looks like it was referred to me by our referral company, and they paired your property with us.
I don't want to. I apologize.
Got it. Okay. All right. No worries, man. Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right. See you. To the next. Okay. What's up? Hey, Stefan, yeah, got your email. So let's see here. So you anchored at 160, laughed. Yep. Came down from 275 to 265. Um, so, um, so we'll still have to get them lower. We need to be at 225, but 265 plus 30 divided by 0.9. I mean, if it could sell for 330, then it would be a deal at 265. Now, when he came down to 265, did you say anything about like what, like presuming that that's a listing price and he would have commissions, closing costs and everything like that. So his net number would be lower because um, whether you did or whether you didn't, we can work with that. But basically, if he's thinking like a listing, traditional listing at 265 with all the commissions and closing costs, then he's going to net like 235. So we're really only 10K apart at that point. And then, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy to get on a call with him tomorrow. Just send me the details and we can figure out when a good time is. And then go from there. Mm. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. Right. We're back.
Hello.
Hey, Randall, this is Chris. How are you?
All right. Chris who?
Yeah, I was calling you about your property on Creekside Meadow Drive. Looks like you'd spoken
Right.
to our referral company and they paired you with us because they thought we'd be a good fit. Is now a bad time?
I can give you about 5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. Well, see what we can accomplish in 5 minutes. They mentioned here in the notes that you had been there for about 15 years and were just looking to downsize.
That's correct.
Okay. Awesome. Well, and by the way, I do have to let you know all calls are monitored and recorded for quality and training purposes. You know, the point of this call is just to see if the property qualifies for what we're looking for to put in our portfolio to get an offer as is. We're generally either looking for properties to fix and flip, or we're going to keep it as a rental. So by the end of this call, I can either get you an approval with an offer, or they're going to deny it and tell us exactly why. All right.
All right.
Cool. Now, if we do get it approved, we will buy it as is, cover all the closing costs. There's no commissions, so it's pretty straightforward and, you know, easy peasy. But I guess what's got you guys wanting to downsize?
Just, you know, me and my wife, we're getting older and we don't need all that space and all the 2 floors anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. So looking to go to a single story?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Kids out of the house.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. And I guess, would you guys be staying in the Indianapolis area or would you guys be going elsewhere?
We'd be staying here.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. And how long? You've been there 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you guys been considering selling?
Probably the last couple of years.
Got it. Okay. All right. Anything that's kind of like just held you from pulling the trigger so far?
No, and I don't want to answer any more personal questions. I just want to stick to what you guys are willing to offer.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I always ask just because, you know, depends on the situation. You know, sometimes we can come up with solutions and, you know, find things. And, you know, we do a lot of transactions in Indianapolis. So depending on what you're looking for, we might have something in our portfolio that we're moving. So,
Okay.
but yeah, is it just yourself that owns the property or is there anybody else that needs to be involved?
Just me and my wife.
Your
Our
wife?
names
Okay.
are on it.
Okay. All right, cool. What's the missus name?
Martia.
Martia. All right.
Martiea.
EA. All right. I was close. All right. Perfect. And all right. So I guess in an ideal world, you know, considering the condition, what were you hoping to walk away with?
I'll just say I'll start it at like 300,000.
300. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And how'd you come up with that number?
That's what houses in the neighborhood are going for.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Awesome. Well, before we talk about the inside of the house, I want to get some details about the outside of the house. So like the neighborhood, is it in an HOA?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you know, roughly what the monthly HOA fee is?
Not monthly. We pay yearly,
Okay.
and it's like right at $300 a year.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah, there's no pool and clubhouse or nothing like that.
Got it. Okay.
That's why it's so low.
Okay, got it. So they're just doing like minor like landscaping type of stuff and
Yeah.
okay. All right. Is there anything on the structure of your home itself that the HOA is responsible for?
No.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. And do you know, is it mostly owner occupants in the neighborhood, or is there a good bit of rentals?
There may be a few rentals, but I would say 95 to 98% homeowners.
Okay. Perfect. Do you know, are there any rental restrictions?
That I do not know.
Okay.
M-
All right.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna say no because people do. They just rent out houses.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. Do you know, I mean, typically, like long-term rentals is usually going to be good, but some places might have like you can't rent for less than like 30 days, so it kind of like kills like the whole Airbnb thing. Do you know if there's anything like that?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, no worries. Cool. And then is there anything wrong with the structure of the home?
No, there isn't.
Okay. All right. And anything out back of the house that we wouldn't be able to see from like a Google Street View, like a pool, a barn, a shed?
No, just our small elevated deck.
Okay. And when you say elevated, are we talking like just like a couple feet, or are we talking like second story?
Our basement is partially below ground, and
Mm,
our our deck is like I'd say a half story in the air.
got it. Okay. All right. So you walk out from the basement underneath that deck.
No, there's no walkout basement.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
daylight. It is a daylight basement though.
Got it. Okay. All right. Perfect. Um, Awesome. All right, I think that's it for the outside. So let's talk about the inside. I know the property was built in 2004, so it's only 20 years old. Does everything pretty much look like it did 20 years ago?
Yes, it did. Yes, it
Okay.
does.
Okay. All right. So everything's original, like the kitchen, bathrooms, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. What about the floors? What are the floors like?
Yeah, carpet will, more than likely need to be replaced. But other than that, they're structurally sound.
Okay. Got it. Is it carpet all throughout?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, except for the kitchen, it's um, like planks, not real wood.
Oh, like luxury vinyl plank flooring?
Not even that, but it doesn't look as good as luxury flooring,
Okay.
but
Got it.
it is, slats.
Okay. It's not like a wood look tile or anything like that. It's like a
Yes, it's wood look. It mimics, wood flooring.
okay.
That's about the best way I can say it.
Okay, got it. Is it waterproof?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. And is that the same type of flooring in the bathroom, or is that tile?
In the bathrooms, it's vinyl
Vinyl, okay.
sheet. Yeah, sheet vinyl.
Oh, like linoleum?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. Um, is the basement, is that finished or unfinished?
It's unfinished.
Okay. Unfinished. And all right. So let's say you were going to keep the property for whatever reason. You stroll into Lowe's and they're like, "Hey, congrats! You just won, $30,000 sweepstake. The only catch is you have to put it into this house and this house alone." What are the things that you guys would be updating? Like, what's been on the list that you guys just haven't done?
I would say the kitchen.
Okay. All right.
And 30,000 isn't going to take you far.
Yeah, these days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would want to know if you were buying this house?
No, not really, because
Okay.
the roof is relatively new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the AC in the furnace is all original. So
Okay. So AC and furnace, original roof. How new did you say the roof was?
It's probably 10 years old.
10 years old. Okay. Got it. All right. Perfect. All right. Cool. Is there anything that I haven't asked about that you guys might need help with?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, everything that you've been giving me, I've been putting straight into the system. That goes back to our underwriters where they're running a report and basically tells them everything they need to know about the property. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on a real brief hold real quick. I'm going to run back there, check in, kind of see where they're at on this, and I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. We don't have any fancy hold music or anything, so it'll just be silence, but I'll come back in a second.
All right.
All right. All right. Four, three. This is active 310. This is a model match. Okay. Hey, Randall, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Hey, sorry, man. I don't actually have good or bad news for you just yet. There was a couple questions they had that I missed. The windows on the house, are those all original?
Yes, they
They're
are.
all original. Okay, got it. All right, so original windows. And any foundation or plumbing issues?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And let's see, you said the hot did you say the water heater was updated?
No, it's original water heater.
Original water heater. Okay, so AC, furnace, windows, all original. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And I mean, if they were to come back with an offer that made sense for you, I mean, how soon would you be looking to close and move and, you know, have the cash in your bank account?
I'd say 6 months.
6 months. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. What's happening in 6 months?
Nothing. It'd probably just take us that long to find someplace else.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you guys haven't even really started like the search yet.
No, we've been getting contacted by companies like yours,
Mhm.
and you're the first one that I responded to, so I'm about to contact some of the others,
Got it.
just to see.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, give me a second. Let me go back to them. I mean, is there any, aside from just finding a place, is there anything that would prevent you from selling in the next, 60, 90 days?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, just because I know a lot can change in 6 months. Usually our standard close timeline is usually 30 to 60 days, but with the holidays, seeing a lot of 90s these right now. So, but
Right.
if we do get an offer approved for the property, it's a pretty straightforward process. Once a home's approved and an offer's accepted, we sign a pretty basic agreement. It's written in third grade English, not to insult anybody's intelligence, but it's just super easy to understand. And then within 48 to 72 hours, you'd get a welcome call from our transaction coordinator where she'll line up for us to get photos of the house. Title company will make sure there's a clear title for closing, schedule to do a couple walkthroughs, and then we head to the closing table and get you guys paid. And it really is that simple. So, um, the last thing they wanted me to check with you on is if we can get to a number that made sense for both of us. Would you be ready to move forward with a purchase agreement today?
Yeah, if it makes sense for both, for both of us, I guess.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, give me just another minute here. I'm gonna run back there and just see if they got everything they need and see what they come back with.
All right.
All right, be right back.
Open your free autograph.
All right, Randall, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, man. Hey, I wanted to congratulate you because the property was approved to be purchased. This is actually the first one that's newer than 2000 build that they've approved for me since God knows over a month ago. So let me explain exactly what they've approved. So the offer was approved to buy the property as is. They approved the closing to be within 90 days. And if you guys still haven't found a place, in 90 days, we can, make some adjustments there. No commissions are going to be taken out. They're going to pay not only our side of the closing costs, but they'll also cover your side of the closing costs as well. All right. Now they just moved the funds into a virtual withdrawal account. Contrary to popular belief, we don't have unlimited funds available. So when they approve a property, they set those funds aside so they don't get allocated to anything else. Do you happen to have a pen and a piece of paper handy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Before we
So
go any further, what is the price?
yeah, so the approved offer for the property in its current condition is $202,750.
Okay. All right. Well, that may make sense for you guys, but it doesn't make sense for me. So
I
I'm gonna go
gotcha.
ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and end this call. So because I'm on
Okay.
my way into work.
Oh, you're on your way into work. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Honestly, man, like, for your situation and your property, I mean, a cash offer, I don't know if a cash offer is going to make the most sense for you, where it is going to be a win-win. Just being totally transparent there. Um, you know, there's I want to talk to them about another program. I didn't bring it up before just because it's a very is a different program that we have that not a lot of the properties qualify for. It's our concierge service. So I'm going to have to bump it up to the higher ups, the top underwriter on this to see if it even meets the criteria for it. It's a little bit more labor intensive and time intensive, but I think with your guys' timeline, it may make more sense.
Okay.
And usually that gives them, the ability to come in a little bit higher because what they're doing, since, we do a lot of business in Indianapolis. And so we have a lot of relationships with other investors and agents and, even some people that are looking to move into homes. And so, a lot of these other investors, they're really good at doing what they do, fixing, flipping, rentals. But what they quite frankly suck at is finding and sourcing properties. And so this program, we basically bring it out to these other investors that we've worked with and basically essentially sell our contract to them. And they basically pay us a fee outside, totally separate. But sometimes that gives us the ability to come up a bit higher and it gets a net number for you. And then we basically would still be able to cover closing costs. And if there is any repairs or things like that, that's requested to be done or needs to be done for like a lender or anything like that, we foot the bill to get that stuff taken care of. So it really ends up being a pretty hands-off experience for you guys, but gets you kind of the same result as like a cash offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. So you're just gonna call me back when you have that information?
Yeah, so they already the top underwriter already left for the day that would be able to approve this particular program. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a note in to talk to him tomorrow when I get in, and then I can give you a call and see, where that comes in at.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, I didn't mean call me back tonight. I meant call me back
yeah.
when you got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let me just look at the calendar real quick. What's your day look like tomorrow?
Like I said, I work midnight, so I won't be available until after, like maybe 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay. So 1 o'clock, you're Eastern. So 12, 11, 10. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm on the West Coast. So I'll put it on my calendar to reach out to you, right around 1 o'clock your time. And then I should have an answer for you and, should be able, we'll cross our fingers. Hopefully this works out for this one, but, we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you, Randall. Have a good rest of your night.
You do the same. Thanks.
All right. See ya. All right. I had to speed through that one. I didn't think he was going to give me 25 minutes. All right. So it is 5:30. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it up for the night here and take off, get back to the baby and the wife. But Appreciate you guys for staying with me here. Hit me up. By the way, Pocket, just seeing this message here. You still work on market. We do a little bit of on market, but our primary focus is off market deals. And then Stefan, yeah, hit me up. We can, get on a call tomorrow with that seller and hopefully get them, at the number that they need to be at, or get them at the number where we need to be at to make it work as an ovation. So yeah, just shoot me an email and then you and I can get on a call and then we can loop them in and wrap that bad boy up. So, but appreciate you guys following. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel where we make real estate investing easy. Peace.